Good morning, students. So we saw in the last video about the structure of an egg and also the life cycle of a hen. Okay, now we move further to fish. Now fish again here is a egg laying animal. Okay beta, they live in the water, isn't it? So the eggs that they are laying are in the water itself. Okay, they lay their eggs around the what you can say corners, okay, or the boundaries of the lakes, wells, rivers, wherever they are living. Now they lay eggs in clusters. Clusters means in large quantity, okay, in bunch. Okay, so they don't lay only one or two eggs, they lay many eggs. Okay, and they are clusters. They look like jelly. Okay, they are jelly like looking. So around the edges of the lakes, rivers, there are small clusters. Now see, fishes are, as of some fishes are very small, so their eggs will be even smaller beta. So the eggs are very tiny and they are in groups, in clusters, and they look like jelly. Okay, they are in the water bodies. Now these eggs, they also need incubation, that is getting heat. Now the animal like fish, they do not give heat to those eggs. Okay, what they do is they lay the eggs on the surface of the water at the edges of the water body, and with the help of the heat of the sun, okay, sun's heat will give the required heat for incubation of the eggs. Okay, so after taking heat from the sun, the embryos inside the eggs start developing, and when they become developed, or when they are fully grown inside, they come out of the eggs. Okay, so the fish lay plenty of eggs in water at a time. Out of these, only a few develop into babies. Now what happens, other fishes, they are in the water, they eat these eggs. Frogs are there, snakes are there. Okay, so all the water animals, they depend on the others for their food beta, and they eat each other. The big fish will eat the small fish, so on. So the eggs which are laid in clusters, they all do not grow up into baby fishes. Okay beta, some are eaten up by the other animals. Also because of some unfavorable conditions, जैसे say heat is not there, or because some problem has arisen, the eggs may not develop fully and they may not give from them small babies may not be born. Okay, so large fish, other animals, they eat the eggs and only few survive. थोड़े ही बच जाते हैं, and from those few some babies are born. Okay beta, so they get the warmth from the sun's heat. Okay, sunlight. So sunlight provides the heat for growth. Okay, as in plants as well. Plants को भी warmth मिलेगी, sunlight मिलेगी, तो ही they grow up, isn't it? They can make their food. So this warmth is very important for all the living things beta. Okay, so the eggs of the fish which are laid on the surface of the water, okay, at the edges, are laid in clusters. बहुत सारे झुंड में they lay the eggs, the fishes, but some are eaten up by other animals and only few fishes are born from them. Okay, so next we move on to frogs. Frogs again are living in water as well as on land. They are called amphibians. What are they called? Amphibians means they can live on land as well as in water. Okay, now the frogs, they lay their eggs again here on the water surface. Okay, they also lay many eggs at a time. बहुत सारे eggs अंडे देते हैं. Okay. Now with the heat of the sun, the eggs will start developing, or they will start incubating, isn't it? After they have formed inside the embryos, है ना, छोटे बेबीज को embryos बोलते हैं. So inside, when the embryos are fully developed, they crack the shell, है ना, अंडों में से बाहर आ जाते हैं. They come out of their shells. Now when the embryos come out of the shell of a frog, they are very very different from the adult frog that we see. And when we say frog, we have the picture that they are having two front legs, two hind legs, back legs, and then they jump. And that is your picture. Now the embryo that is born from the egg of a frog is tadpole. It is called tadpole, and it is looking like a fish. Okay, it does not look like a frog. So when you see page number 178, therein the life cycle of a frog is given, beta. So just see that the eggs which were laid were called as spawn. What are they called? Spawn. The eggs laid by the frog are called as spawn. Okay, they also look like जेली जैसे क्लस्टर्स होते हैं ग्रुप में. ओके, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज स्पॉन. दैट क्लस्टर ऑफ जेली लाइक सब्सटेंस इज कॉल्ड एज स्पॉन. ओके बेटा, देन द यंग वंस विल हैच फ्रॉम द एग्स आफ्टर दे गेट incubated and they become embryo, isn't it? So these embryos which come out look like fish something, see, and it is called as a tadpole. What is that called? Tadpole. Now this tadpole further then takes the proper nutrition and keeps on developing, keeps on growing in the water. They become something like a frog, but still with a tail. Okay, the next stage that you see is a frog like thing but still with a tail. Okay, further they grow and become young adult. Again here it is looking like a frog but with a tail behind it, isn't it? पूंछ है उसकी. Frogs don't have the tails. So since they are having the tail, they are not yet fully developed. They are not called adult. Adult यानी जो बड़े हो गए हैं. Okay, the final stage till where the body grows. So the adult stage is the last stage of the body growth. So this young adult has a tail. Okay, so it again further keeps on getting nutrition, developing, and at the final stage they reach the adult stage wherein their tail is gone now. Okay, उनकी पूंछ चली जाती है and they become the frogs that we are used to, isn't it? We are familiar with frogs with no tail. So this is then the adult frog formed, which is having no tail and looks exactly as we have seen. Okay, then again this adult frog is giving eggs. Again the same cycle continues. Again the same process goes on, isn't it? So this is the life cycle of a frog here. Okay beta. So in the life cycle of a frog, they are in the jelly like clusters of eggs called as spawn. Then they incubate and they become embryo. Embryos then come out of the eggs and are looking like a fish. This stage is called as a tadpole. Okay, at this stage frog is named as tadpole. This tadpole continues growing and in the end it becomes an adult frog. Okay, so this change of the frog body is known as metamorphosis. Okay beta. So metamorphosis is a process in which a embryo goes on to become an adult. Embryo stage से लेकर adult बनने तक जो भी changes हो रहे हैं in their bodies, in their lifestyle is called as a metamorphosis. Okay. So that's all for today beta.